Well, welcome back. Gardening season. It's here, guys. It really is. But not all of us have a garden in the backyard.
That's right, but anybody can have a container garden. I was gardening this weekend, and it was lovely. Yes, there's color now in the backyard.
Like in the dirt?
In the dirt. We actually got in, and we put some impatiens and a lot of different flowers in the ground, so there's color out there. And Kelly is outside with garden guide Dale Kay. Okay, we're talking more about container gardens, but isn't it nice, first of all, to see Dale? But to know that we can start putting color around our house.
Yep.
Finally, it's finally time. We waited a long time for this.
It's so nice out today. It's so nice. Spring is finally here. The leaves are starting to come out on the trees.
Things are green.
We're talking a little bit of container gardening this morning, even the mechanics of it. So it's absolutely a joy. And the next few days, why not get outside and do a little bit of gardening? There is a little bit of technique when it comes to container gardening, so we'll kind of break it down so you have success, because still today, as it was back even in the 50s and the 60s, container gardening, one of the most popular forms of container gardening. So of course, you need a vessel or a pot to contain your plants in, and this is also part of the fun, is picking out all the different types of pots that suit the decor of your home or your patio, a little bit of curb appeal. Really key feature is, of course, make sure it has a drainage hole in the bottom. This particular pot we call a drop-in. It would be maybe for like a house plant. There's no drainage hole in the bottom there. So vitally important.
Figure that out before you fill it. I've done that.
Yes, and then you're wondering why it becomes a swimming pool of soil.
That's kind of
gross. Resin pots are really good. I love the ceramics. You can get a lot of fun different types of finishes that really match any decor. So pot is key. The next thing that is super key is potting soil. I like to say the better the soil, the greener the thumb. So choose carefully, choose wisely. I always go to my favorite local garden shop for potting soil. And then also what goes into the pot is a slow release fertilizer, just like this one here. It's controlled release. It releases on temperature mostly, and this feeds up to 4 months. They're like little pearls that just goes into the soil. And what I like to do is mix it into the soil before planting. So you filled
this one.
So this one I filled, and I've left quite a few inches, about 3 inches or so from the top, because that will allow us to plant nice and easy. Roughly about 2 tablespoons of slow release fertilizer. Just give that a little bit of a mix in so it gets down to the root zone itself. This particular potting soil, it's what we call soilless. It's basically a peat moss mixture with some perlite. This one has a little bit of added compost in it, which is really, really beneficial for plants as well. So
is this a one-time thing, or are you supposed to do
this is one and done kind of thing. What I do like to do is there is a water-soluble version of this. This is the one that mixes with water, kind of turns the water blue. I also like to use this about once a month throughout the growing season. That will make sure that the blooms are really intense in color and also promotes healthy growth as well. From there it becomes plant selection itself. And off to this side, I have shade plants. Begonias are really popular. That caladium is really popular. Here, there's a selection of sun. So there's a simple kind of rule of thumb. You want like a thriller in the middle. It usually goes towards the back or in the middle, and that is usually something tall. You can get that architecturally with different types of wrought irons. Tall plants like the Eugenia there. It's a kind of a little tube ball. Kind of has kind of like a stately kind of formal look. Mandevilla, spikes, all those kind of things, that would be something tall that we call a thriller. That catches the eye. From there we go into a mounding kind of plant. They're the next ones to go in. That would be your geraniums, your lantana, garria. All those types of plants would be good mounding plants. They go in around the thriller. And that's what we call kind of mounding. And then from there, the spillers are kind of the vining plants. There's many different types, but bacopa, this mazul here is a variegated one, sports a beautiful pink, luscious flower, absolutely divine, very, very hardy. There's even trailing petunias as well. One other key that you want to make sure that you do is give them a little bit of trim, usually around the 4th of July. That way they won't get too leggy and your flowers won't get too weedy. So if you're kind of in the round, or you want your pot to see, you want it to see it from everywhere, the thriller kind of goes in the...
This is a thriller.
This is a thriller. This is something tall. That goes in the middle. If it can also go towards the back as well. Kind of up to you how you want your plant to display.
I'd always heard that you should put an odd number. Is that right?
So
or is that just...
that's absolutely right. In general terms, 3s and 5s
Okay.
work best, and that's really whether you're planting perennials or shrubs or flowers. Odd numbers tend to work best.
Okay.
I should also mention too, because I got this here.
This is looking a little rough.
Yeah, anything from last year, I always replace the potting soil.
Okay.
Always replace the potting soil. So those go in, the mounding ones go in next, and then of course your thrillers would be trailing over the edge. We'll put the mazul in here. Oftentimes I like to pre-water my potting soil, so to make sure your potting soil isn't overly dry, especially if it's been left over from last year. And then also you want to make sure that all the air pockets kind of come out. You don't want to have any excessive amount of air pockets in there. That way the plants will kind of settle, I call them settle in nicely. So we'll put a couple more of these in here so you can kind of see the final.
This is my problem too, Dale, and we've talked about this. I want instant gratification, so like I have a tendency to fill this as if it would be, you know, day one. I want it to be totally bloom. You need to give some space for these things to grow.
It's a little bit like going to the buffet line, right?
I know.
You know, you just want to just pile it all on the plate, and then you sit there wondering, okay, how am I going to eat
What
that?
was I doing?
So it's okay to give your plants some room to grow and breathe. This is about a 12-inch pot. About 5 to 6 plants would be perfect for this size pot. But have some fun with it. If you go to if you're on the internet, on the Google, and you have a picture, you don't even know what it is, take it to your local garden shop. They'll sort out what's in there, and then you can kind of go from there. But most important, have fun gardening. It's great to get your hands dirty.
It is. It's so nice, and nice to bring some life back to this one.
Yeah, this one's toast. But don't worry,
We'll
bring it
work on
back to life.
Dale, thank you. Guys.
Good stuff. Good stuff. We
I
were
have that
both saying
same problem, Kelly. Same
here.
problem.
a little too overcrowding, but it looks pretty.
Excited.
And it'll flourish eventually.